Get ready! Today we're adding my mischievous Viking pony Reese's into the herd integration. Could I have just waited a few days before bringing Reese's into the mix? Yeah, I could have, but I do think there are risk factors of isolating horses, so I'm just hoping that Reese's is going to behave today. Is today going to be the day that Reese's learns to fear or at least have respect for bigger horses? Or size just an illusion? Remember, Reese's was never going to be a permanent part of my herd, but I fell in love with Reese just because of his enormous personality. So as long as he can fend for himself within this rambunctious herd, then he has a home with me forever. So this is equally as a big test for Reese's as it is for Drakina. Stay tuned, let's see what happens. Welcome back to Curious Horse. It's integration day, going to bring in Reese to the integration, and he's always wild. The reason why I'm doing it today is because Javelin is in heat today, and when she's in heat, she's actually really sweet. This is definitely the calm before the storm. Remember, this is day one. This is just the second part of the day. I did wait a small amount of time.
Oh no, she put her butt to my guest just to tell him you better not mess with me.
Maybe he does need to learn.
Like
he needs
that.
to learn. I think that's actually good. So that was the first time that Maverick and Reese met. Look at Patriot. She's coming in between.
You're being good, Reese.
So Patriot is my little filly. She's 1-year-old. See how she's going in between Reese's and Maverick? She's like protecting Reese's, I think. And now Drakina's coming to say hi. And right away, Patriot's shooting Drakina.
Here comes Jav. Put the drink down. You're gonna need. Ho, ho, ho. Ho, Javelin. Ho.
So those of you that know Javelin, she's my 6-year-old lead mare. She's alpha, and she stirred up some trouble here. Again, they're always meeting at this four-wheeler. I'm not sure why. Drakina got separated from Reese and Patriot, so right now she's running towards the back of paddock 2, and she's trying to get into the large paddock, which is paddock 3. But she's definitely disheveled, and she's just trying to get back with. Look, there's Reese's and Patriot coming to her rescue. These three got super tight. Notice how Janana is doing her Janana Bucks. This is her signature. One of our subscribers coined the term the Janana Bucks, and this is one of the reasons why I'm not riding her right now. For those of you that are new to the channel, this is Janana. She has a bucking issue. I have a whole video on this. I'll put the link in the description below. She's gone through so many auction houses, and I just consider her my beautiful rescue horse. She's a Pinto warm blood draft cross. I do have a DNA test kit to confirm what her actual breed is. I just have to take the sample and submit it. But what would you guess Janana's breed is? Would you think it's a warm blood Pinto, or do you think it's something else?
Okay, baby.
So the Munchkins are running into my largest paddock. It goes on and on and on. It's called paddock number 3. And this is where the horses get the majority of their exercise. I have a pond here. It's just a lot of fun. I also do feel like Reese's was pulling the girls out there to follow him away from the large herd. I'm not sure why he would do that, but that's what I think. Throughout this video, you will see my dog Foxy. This is my guard dog at my farm. Many of you have said that she lives on the edge, and she certainly does. Honestly, this breed is just different to anything I've ever seen before. This is her mother, that's a Mau, and then her father is a Dutch Shepherd on the next picture, so she's just a cross between the two. She didn't make it as a cop dog, unlike her parents, but she's just very special and completely different to what I've experienced before. If you know this breed, you know that she's built for having a lifestyle like this. She likes to have a lot of stimulation. She always has to have something to do, just an active life. Here, I think she's actually herding my horses. I think she wants them to be in the same proximity together, but I don't worry about Foxy. She's just, like I said, she's on a whole different wavelength, and she can handle herself. I don't ever worry about her, but she lives outside during the nighttime, and she's in for a few hours during the day, but she's my guard dog. And to all the haters that have said my horses are so fat and they're so unhealthy and they're not getting enough exercise, you have just simply failed to understand my philosophy as a horse dad. I've said that I believe horses should have all the fundamental needs met before we just ride them. They should be turned out in a herd. I believe they should not be isolated or contained to a stall just waiting for someone to ride them all day. I believe they should have large paddocks to run around in, and they should be in a complex social group and always keeping their brain mentally stimulating. It gets me so frustrated when someone says, oh, your horses are not getting exercise. That's bullcrap. If all these conditions are met that I've just said, then everything else that I'm doing with them is a bonus, riding them. As of today, I have 3 riding horses, and although I'm currently riding 2 to 3 horses a day, 5 times a week, this is not where the majority of their exercise comes from, and I don't want the majority of their exercise to come from me. When I'm riding them, of course that's additional exercise, but that's not where their fundamental daily exercise should come from. It should be coming from being in a paddock and running around like a horse, what a horse is intended to do. They're getting their exercise from galloping in their grassy paddocks, and then they also have a 30-acre forest paddock, which I call the nature paddock, at the back where we go almost daily. Also, many of my horses are giraffe breeds, and they appear to be more stout than other breeds. So please stop calling them fat and unhealthy and, oh, you've watched this YouTube channel for all these years and those horses are so much happier than yours. That's not true. My horses could not be happier. They are always doing something different, and I do push them. And I also have certain horses that have an intended purpose. And just because a horse that I bought in the past did not meet that intended purchase, like Janana or even Reese now, that doesn't mean I'm going to get rid of them just because they didn't meet that certain type of horse that I initially wanted. They still have a home here with me. I'm not just going to sell a horse to make people say, oh, you have too many horses.
Walk, walk, walk.
That was probably the least positive thing you've ever heard me say on my YouTube channel. I usually don't address the haters' comments, but when somebody says something negative about my herd, I get very defensive as a dad. You can talk about my experience, but talking negatively about my horses, my animals, my family, that is completely crossing the line and unacceptable. This is Reese and Patriot fell on Reese. I have my barn so they can run through the barn. I don't like when they can get trapped or pinned. I think it's very dangerous, so I just have it so they can run in and out, and I can close the gates when the vet comes. Here comes Jeanette Girl and Maverick and Prince. I know this integration is a little bit chaotic, but there's not that much fighting or squealing. Oh, somebody asked on the last video how old is Prince. So Maverick is turning 4 in March. She just turned 4, and Prince is 6 months older, so he's about 4.5 years old. I know he was gelded before 3 or younger. Drakina wants the emus. See, Drakina misses her emus. You miss your emus with all this commotion? Drakina misses the emus. When there's commotion, Drakina always goes to the emus. She's very protective over them. She's very protective over the emus. Sergeant Prince. So for those that don't know, Sarge is my Clydesdale. He's turning 6 this year. And again, Prince is 4.5. And those two are like my dependable, steady Eddie, just great draft horses that anyone can ride. And they spend so much time playing together. They just love each other. Drakina, come on, baby. Come on, Drakina. Patriot and Drakina are tired. I never said this yesterday or the day before, but this morning we actually woke up and went on like a 1.5 to a 2-mile run around the woods. I hold Drakina with the halter and then Patriot follows, but we do that probably 3 or 4 times a week, just going on a running trip. It's a lot of fun. Foxy comes too. Okay, Drakina. Guys are tired, I can tell. I find it interesting that although the horses are now integrated just for a few hours today. We're gonna the strategy is to do a few hours each day just so they can process like what's happening. But I do find it interesting that the big horses are staying with the big horses and the munchkins are staying together.
You never saw the side of her before, right?
Hmm?
You never saw how sweet she was before, right? Or did you?
Oh no, she's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a good girl. Sweet girl.
I'm gonna go check on the fillies, Pater and Drakina, make sure everyone's okay. Drakina was moving very slowly a minute ago, so I just want to make sure they're okay. Foxy is obsessed with the pond. She goes in here, in and out the whole day, but it's basically a spring underwater and it rises to a certain depth and then it drains. See, there's like a pipe at the back that drains from my pond to my neighbor's yard just to like circulate the water. It gets really nasty during the summer, but it's great for swimming. As you can see here, it's not that bad looking, but it does get pretty cloudy because of all the clay in the summer. But I'm looking forward to bringing Drakina in a few months to her first swim lesson. Alrighty, I'm gonna go close all the paddock gates. I'm gonna separate the two herds. I think this integration for the first day went fantastic. Nobody got hurt. No one's like getting picked on. So this is exactly what I wanted. So now I'm gonna go close. I'm gonna keep the munchkins in the big paddock. I'm going to keep the big horses in the emu paddock and also the two paddocks at the front. Have a good night, everybody.